Hello, everyone. Are we all having a sweet and savory start to our summer? Well, it's not technically summer yet. Summer isn't for another 2.5 weeks, but it is the month of June, and it is our first Rider Time podcast. In the month of June and in the calendar summer season. So naturally, we're gonna get started. We're hoping that we keep things cool while things get hot, and if you're in the southern hemisphere, stay warm while things get a little bit chilly. But we are all united under the common banner that is Kamen Rider Gavv, episode 37. I've never forgotten. And yeah, this is the episode that focuses on the Granude that kidnapped Hanto's mom. We're finally here. I'm surprised it took us this long to get here, and I'm surprised that I'm gonna be honest, it's a little anticlimactic, not gonna lie. Like, there were so many conspiracies. What if Shoma was the Granude that kidnapped his mom? What if the Granude was another Gavv? I don't mean like bitter Gavv, but because the way he drew that picture, one would have assumed it was a red Gavv, just like the one that Shoma has. But no, it's just a regular run-of-the-mill Granude. Okay. Okay. It is what it is, I suppose. But let's get right into it. So, where we last left off, Longo's dead. And the theme song did not do quite the job I would have wanted it to in terms of, just like letting us know. Like, when Cheetah died, like in her segment of the theme song, she like evaporates into bubbles. But with Lango being like in the very middle, it's like, nah, let's just replace that last bit with Lango with just the president. It's just so lackluster. I was hoping that, given that it's been about 20 episodes since we last seen the defeat of a member of the Stomach family, you'd think that we would see like a major change in the theme song. But no, it's like you see the 5 siblings, then you cut to the twins with Sheeta disappearing, then it cuts to Nyelv and Glotta. I think it just cuts to the president holding the dark candy. That's it. Like, no ceremonious farewell to Longo. Just ridden off the show like a total punk. Yeah. Well, we still have the parfait form to look forward to, according to recently leaked official posters. So that here's us hoping. Yeah, we do have a let's cut straight to the Jaludic family. Lysella brought a bunch of souvenirs, including a canister of patats, potato snacks, for Niel to make stronger tools with, because based on the recent reports, Longo was defeated by the Red Gavv. Turns out he's more powerful than we anticipated. And it's like, oh no. And then the president, of course, is like, no worries. I expected there to be obstacles. I'll make sure you take care of it. And of course, and of course, Niel was getting off very easily, but Jeeb is like, damn, I was hoping Lango would kill Red Gavv. Well, what would have been really great? Maybe if he didn't tell the Red Gavv that Lango was going to attack a concert hall, maybe he wouldn't have intercepted him, and maybe he would have, I don't know, I don't know, like make lots of dark candy and and defeat Shoma at a later point in time. What? No, you just sped up Longo's destruction. Gee, this is all your fault. I already went off on a tirade about how incompetent you are. Even Niel would sooner acknowledge Shoma. No, not Niel. Longo would sooner acknowledge Shoma than you because you're a passive character. And this episode, it is written all over the walls. Meanwhile, the crew, I call them the crew, by the way, so I've heard, are visited by a 10-year-old kid with a bunch of sticks of dango. Dango is basically a rice-based confection with syrup on top, and it is very popular by Anko from Naruto, who just so happens to be named after red bean paste. But yeah, so we go to this confectionery shop, which naturally focuses on making wagashi. For those of you who don't know, wagashi is a Japanese confection. It's typically very seasonal, and it primarily uses like rice flour in order to make it. But usually the way it's done is it involves carving it into special seasonal designs like summer, winter, autumn, spring. And, it has a long history of evolution, starting with freaking the Jomon period, the Heian period, the Sengoku period. And in fact, it was during the Sengoku period that it started using sugar, which was introduced by the Portuguese, because as we all know, Oda Nobunaga was a Euroboo. Anyway, so modern use of wagashi has become very popularized. And they come in all kinds of designs, all kinds of shapes, colors, and flavors. They make many different like designs, like chrysanthemums, waves, salmon, spring water, breezes, taiko drums. You could carve them into almost any shape you really want to. Assuming it's not like an ice cream based mochi, because if it melts, it melts. Anyways, our heroes get to visit a shop where they are treated to kusa mochi, which is a form of mochi that uses herbs as its main ingredient, and dorayaki, which is basically a pancake sandwich. Like the mochi bread forms the two pancake layers, while anko is used as a filling. They use sweet anko, of course, but personally, if you ask me, nothing beats a classic old school mochi. Especially, my favorite is melon flavored. Phenomenal. Yeah, why we brought to the shop? Because ever since the owner's husband died, they've been losing traction, so they need a way to increase their business. And what's really cool is we even call up Lakia, who's still grieving about his belt being destroyed. Well, not so much destroyed; it's fractured. And they ask him if he could contact Kabuto Man from an earlier episode to do an episode on this shop. Of course, there's a lot of competing mochi, wagashi places, but Shoma meets a former employee who is in no way suspicious whatsoever, and discusses how the previous owner taught him everything that he knew. But one thing that really helps a wagashi place is something that really makes the place pop, like including a coffee place. One thing that really helps one enjoy wagashi is a nice cup of green tea. In fact, wagashi was invented to enjoy green tea with. Its sweet flavor complements the bitter, refreshing sensation of the tea. It goes together like tea and biscuits in Britain. But this is Japan. So it's green tea and wagashi. Personally, I like green tea, but I'm an iced tea guy. Meanwhile, so Hanto is sent to like further interview this guy, but he just so happens to recollect that, oh yeah, I used to be on a mission. I need to find that wolf Granny that kidnapped my mom, so I can defeat him. I'm like, we're still on about this? I thought you already accepted that. It's like your mom was already killed trying to protect Shoma. I mean, like, what more can we do with this, really? I mean, I get it. It's a loose end, but why bring it up now? If not for dramatic reveal. Jeeb has a horrible dream where he is strangled by Sheeta for taking too long. Basically, it's Hamlet. It's Hamlet. Jeeb is basically Hamlet. He's just as passive as Hamlet. He is just as haunted by the trauma of losing a loved one like Hamlet. And he's equally as stupid as Hamlet. Let me guess. Jeeb is going to have two best friends that are going to betray him, but he's going to stab them in the back. Oh, wait, that already happens, didn't he? Let me guess. Everyone Jeeb cares about is going to die because of his own stupidity. Can't believe it. They actually trying to do Hamlet using Jeeb. Except, freaking Shoma's Laertes. Oh my god. Is Shoma gonna die? By accident? While fighting Jeeb? I hope not. Man, Laertes dying was like one of the lamest things that happened in Hamlet. But basically everyone dies except for freaking Horatio. You might be thinking, whoa, spoilers! Dude, Shakespeare died for more than 400 years ago. It's one of his earlier plays. You should know by now what the plot of Hamlet is. If you haven't seen it, there's an Ethan Hawke movie. There's a Mel Gibson movie. They both suck. The only thing good about the Ethan Hawke version is that Bill Murray was cast as Polonius, and that was actually really good. I know you're thinking, oh, but what about David Tennant, where Claudius is played by Patrick Stewart? Who cares? David Tennant's a good actor, but when you play an idiot, your character's still an idiot. The only difference is, does your idiot have an American accent, a fake British accent, or an authentic Glaswegian accent? Either way, it's definitely, it won't be Danish nor Norwegian. Can you imagine if David Tennant played Prince Fortinbras? You got a Glaswegian playing a Norwegian. Anywho, but I digress. So, but yeah, no, Jeeb has that nightmare, but then he wakes up in a cold sweat to see Glada in front of him, and of course, she's like, "I hope you're happy. I know you wanted Longo to disappear because we threatened to separate you with Sheeta, but seriously, this is all your freaking fault." Anyways, so the gang gets the idea to go visit a zoo because they think using an animal theme for their wagashi might be the best idea for their marketing. So everyone goes, including Shoma, Sachika, Hanto, the little kid, and the wagashi seller from earlier in the episode. And and of course, Hanto is interviewing him a bit more, and he said that there's something I have to atone for. So he taught me my profession. So it's like, you have to atone for something. Of course, everyone gets spotted by Jeeb's agents, so they get intercepted. And so a fight breaks out. Of course, everyone except for Hanto and Shoma evacuate. Shoma uses his sorbet form, which honestly I think is very appropriate. While Jeeb transforms into his full granute form. The fight breaks out. It goes about how you expect. Frappe, he gets squashed, but not without defeating the two guys. Shoma manages to use one of his Wagashi Gochizos. I believe it was the Dorayaki one. No, it wasn't Dorayaki. It was a Dongo one. And of course, Jeeb was like, "It's your fault. Like it's because of you. Sheeta's dead. It's because of you. Longo's dead. It's because of you. The Stomach Incorporators is going under. This is all your fault. I want Sheeta back." It's like, bro, chill. Frankly, a lot of this is your fault. You were too weak. That Sheeta took a sacrifice for you. You got married to Lascelles, so it's your fault that the Geludics have the Stomach Company, and you're the one who leaked information about what Longo's plan is so that Shoma could defeat Longo. Granted, you're expecting Longo to defeat Shoma, but still, you sabotaged your brother. So it's your freaking fault. And Shoma rightfully almost defeats him like he's a total punk because he is one, only to get bailed out by Lascelles, who's able to shoot projectiles from her umbrella. I'm like, this is actually pretty dope. But yeah, no. But unfortunately, the kid runs back because he dropped his notebook, but then it causes debris to fall on top of him. Classic Carter Grayson moment, by the way. Gotta put out the fire before you save the kid. He put out the fire, but the kid, thankfully, was rescued by the Candyman. But the Candyman reveals himself to be the Wolfman. That's right. This dude was the one that kidnapped Hanto's mom all those years ago. But just as Hanto was about to fight him, he turns back into his human form and carries off the kid, says, "Listen, I'm not going to run from you, but we are going to have to settle this later. Right now, this kid is my top priority." And that's where the episode ends. Like, oh my freaking God, this is freaking good. Okay. Yeah, no, like, first of all, like, the entire fight choreography, like, that was just... Yeah, and Shoma almost defeating Jeeb, that was... But, yeah, no, it's like, the whole Sheeta showing up in a dream thing.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, that was just weird. Okay, so here are my thoughts. Like, yeah, aside from everything I just mentioned, I love the showcasing the diversity of the different ways you could make Wagashi. That is just phenomenal. Where they go with the Wolfman thing, I guess it's about reconciliation. Like, did this dude turn a new leaf? Is Hanto gonna forgive him? Is he not gonna forgive him? Is the wolf dude gonna die in the next episode as part of his atonement? Is he gonna die in Hanto's arms? And what's the deal with Jeeb? Like, he is really crashing out, and I can't wait to see it finally climax because, like I said, Jeeb has proven himself to be nothing more than a punk. He's just a punk, dude. He's just a punk. Like, that's all there is left to it. And quite frankly, I'm just done with him. I'm ready for him to kick the bucket. And I know Liz Cell will somehow be involved in his demise. Somehow. Here's what I think, though. Nielv is pulling the strings the whole time. Nielv, that's right, the middle child is pulling the strings. And here's what I'm thinking. From Jump, he was collaborating with Suga because he wanted there to be a technology that would fight back against Grandins, because that way it would definitely push the twins away, because they're in charge of distribution, and sooner or later there would be a Valen in order to like disrupt the system and push them out of the company. Naturally, Sheeta going first was just part of the process. I'm pretty sure he was collaborating with the president from Jump Street. Like when Jeeb was left homeless and alone, like I have no doubt that somehow Niel pulled the strings to convince Lascelles to end up on that street when it happened. And he convinced the president to marry off Jeeb to her in order to get the Stomach family, to get the Jaludic family closer to the Stomach company to destroy it from the inside. Then, obviously, with Longo being taken care of, like it's only a matter of time before we just have to get rid of Galata. And well, I'm gonna be honest. If Niel dies like a punk, being betrayed by President Jaludic, I wouldn't be surprised. But I also wouldn't be surprised that he betrays President Jaludic. One of them is gonna stab the other in the back. One of these two will be the final villain. There's no way in hell Jeeb is gonna be the final villain. Glada, like I'm pretty sure she's gonna be killed by Valen in his new form. Come on. Comer was killed by scythe blades. She has a scythe. Put two and two together. Like we're gonna tie these two things together. Get that out of the way. That's gonna leave Nielv as the final of the five siblings. Let's go. At least that's my hypothesis. Like I could be wrong. I could be right. We'll see how this plays out. But damn, Jeeb is so frustrating. I mean, is it possible he might become the last one standing? Who knows? Who knows? But he's such a punk right now. Like, I'm not rooting for him to get that far. But let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Which Stomach member are you rooting for to be the final member of the Stomach family? I'm so excited the Wolf Granute finally appears. I know, right? I think you might be right about Lascelles' betrayal. I know, it's like Ryuki all over again. It's not a question of if, but when. And like again, with those souvenirs and some of the facial expressions she's been making during Jeeb's fight, it's like I have reason to believe that she knows he's a punk. And if not, she's gonna get bored of him because he's a punk. Are you excited about Robo Toy Fest? Abso-freaking-lutely. I wish VR Troopers were streaming somewhere. The DVDs are next to impossible to find. Unfortunately, that is the case. I do have one of the 4 DVDs. I'm not going to hold my breath on getting the others. I wish I had all 4. I know I slept on it way back when. It's my bad. Shout Factory, please renew this. You have a golden opportunity to like re-release it because you got the VR Troopers comics coming up. You got the VR Troopers reunion. If I'm not mistaken, it might be an anniversary for them, more or less. Might be their 26th anniversary, probably. or maybe even their no way, it's probably their 30th anniversary by now. But yeah, no, it's Your Troopers was a great show, and I wish more people were exposed to it, because you take everything that was good about Power Rangers and you make it better. I'm not even joking about that. You make it even better. And that's called VR Troopers. There's a reason why I like VR Troopers more than Power Rangers. And that's coming from a big Power Ranger fan who's been a fan of Power Rangers for 30 years. I'm just telling you guys, you're missing out on some new customers who missed out on getting VR Troopers a decade ago. Just saying. Just saying. But if you enjoyed, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon, stay notified for our latest videos. We are doing Ultraman Z on Mondays, but this week we're doing it on Friday. Kamen Rider Gavv on Wednesdays. #1 Sentai Go Chuger on Thursdays. And finally, on Sundays, we are doing Kamen Rider Classic. Our next Kamen Rider 1971 video will complete the third and penultimate arc of the entire season. Will we do it on Saturday or Sunday? That is to be determined, because this weekend is Robo Toy Fest. But we're going to get into that in just a bit. We also have 2 interviews uploaded for Power Morphicon. We got Ron Roger and David Fielding, 2 back-to-back mentors right there for you. We are almost at 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. Please share this with your friends to get us to that threshold. Once we cross that, line, we'll do another celebration video like we did last time. And also check out our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where we do various movie reviews and TV show discussions. We got Gundam G-Quack Shorts. Episode 8 is now on air for you guys to enjoy. The movie Sinners, we discussed that last week. Karate Kid franchise, we're going to do all 6 movies of the month of June in honor of Karate Kid Legends. Additionally, if you want to say hi to us in person, we are going to be at Robo Toy Fest this Sunday at the Burbank Marriott Hotel, across the street from the Burbank airport. It's going to be this Sunday one more time. We got the cast of VR Troopers, cast of Power Rangers SPD, and many other fantastic guests that are going to be showing up. We got 2 of the Ninja Steel Rangers as well. So we got 3 generations of Power Rangers right there for you. Technically, 2 of the VR Troopers were in Power Rangers Zero, so that counts. Yeah, also, other shows that you should check out. We got Ranger Stop and Pop in Atlanta, Georgia at the Omni Hotel from June 13th to the 15th. It's going to feature the cast of Power Rangers Mystic Force. In July, there's G-Fest, which will feature many Godzilla and other tokusatsu actors. And that's gonna be at the Hyatt in Chicago, Illinois. Get your tickets now for all 3 of these conventions. Some of us will be in some shows, some of us will be in others. Who knows what awesome surprises are waiting for you guys. At Pasadena Comic-Con, we did 6 interviews for the Buttery Show and 3 interviews for the Morphin Network. We will be uploading one of those 9 interviews this week. So be sure to stick around to check that out. And you can find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto, and on Twitch at Twitch.tv/BokenKabuto. With all that said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to stay safe, stay hydrated, update emergency kits, hug your loved ones. We'll see you again real soon. Goodbye. We love you guys.